One of our most famous American heroes, of course, and one from whom Kentucky is known, is George Rogers Clark. George Rogers Clark was born in Albemarle, Virginia in November of 1752. Right before his birth, George's mother had just chased off some Indians trying to steal chickens from the hen house. By the age of 10, George was learning how to survey land from his grandfather Rogers. On any given day, in the Clark cabin, survey maps of the backcountry could be found spread across the family table.
George, please clear this mess so we have a place to eat.
I need to survey and explore. I need to put what I've learned from Grandpa Rogers to work. I'm 20 years old. I'm headed to West Virginia to try my hand at farming and practice my surveying skills.
No one knew it then, but this was the beginning of a great American. But George couldn't be happy with farming. He ended up fighting Indians in a war called Dunmore's War. This experience taught him how to be a soldier and also taught him about Indian customs. He also had many opportunities to explore Kentucky and the Ohio Valley. On visits home to his family, he would tell tall tales of the beauty of Kentucky.
The land is plush and green. Deer and buffalo are so plentiful that hunting isn't work. The land will grow anything with its rich, black dirt, and salt licks are there to attract the wildlife.
With his experience in Dunmore's War, George decided to join up and become a professional soldier. His first assignment was made in 1775 to Fort Harrod in Kentucky.
The land is beautiful. I love it here in Kentucky. If we could get Virginia to pick Kentucky up as a county, then folks could rightly claim land as their own homestead.
So within his first year, George went back to Virginia, visited his family, and then went on to Williamsburg, the capital of Virginia, to convince Governor Thomas Jefferson to make Kentucky a county of Virginia.
Governor, Kentuckians are risking their lives to expand America's claim to land. They deserve to be considered a county of Virginia.
Done.
Thanks, Tom.
So George took the good news back to the folks at Fort Harrod. But all was not well in Kentucky. Indians were being paid by the British to scalp settlers. So within the year, George was back in Virginia visiting his family and getting a meeting with the governor to get help for the settlers. George had an idea to capture 4 British forts and stop the pay for scalps policy.
You cannot move against British forts without money and an army.
And I request funds to buy supplies and pay soldiers a salary.
Request denied.
But George did finally convince his old friend Thomas Jefferson that this would save many settlers' lives and gain territory for the struggling United States. Thomas Jefferson found the money that George needed. George went to Fort Pitt at the mouth of the Ohio River to hire soldiers, buy supplies, and build flatboats.
Okay, men, this way.
Back to Kentucky, Clark gathered the people at Fort Harrod together to explain his idea to capture the 4 British forts west of them. These were the forts where the British soldiers were giving Indians food and money for the scalps of white settlers.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. Will someone please throw the chicken out the window? Thank you. Now, if you'll turn your attention. Whose dog is that?
Mine, sir. Should I put him outside?
Nah, we might use him as a decoy.
George gathered a few more men at Fort Harrod. Together, they picked up soldiers and flatboats at Fort Pitt. Travel down the Ohio River on flatboats was a slow and dangerous effort. Besides the dangers of the deep river, they had to be on the alert for possible Indian attacks. But they made it safely to a little island in the Ohio, and they named it Corn Island. There they built a fort, and George set about training his men.
Could we all please march in the same direction at the same time?
Sorry, sir.
Pay attention. Once more, let's try the drill. This is my right, this is my left, this is my right, left, 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 right, left, 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 right, left. Okay, that's enough. We'll try again tomorrow, and try not to eat so many beans for lunch tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll have to march in a bigger field.
Discouraged, George picked up his maps and returned to his tent. Alone in his tent, he lay on his cot and talked with his own conscience.
Sit down, George. I'll make you a cup of coffee. Nice weather we're having.
Yes.
Sure is exciting. Won't be long before you take your men on down the Ohio River, huh?
Uh-huh.
Boy, oh boy, you're gonna give those British some surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how are the marching drills going?
It's terrible. The men don't know their left from their right. They can't seem to keep in step, and some of them want to desert off Corn Island. I might as well quit.
You can't quit, George.
Bunch of flat-footed morons. Maybe I should go back to Virginia and farm.
I don't think you're a farming kind of guy, George. I've been hanging out with you for 25 years. You're a hero kind of guy, George.
We could go back to Virginia and get started in politics. Possibly be Thomas Jefferson's vice president in about 20 years.
What would you do as a politician? You'd be bored silly. You need adventure. You need to explore the unknown. Listen to me, George. Listen.
I'm listening.
Look at me.
I'm trying.
George, you're going to finish this expedition for your country and all the settlers you've made promises to.
But maybe there won't be a...
Hush. It's going to be a magnificent expedition. There's going to be a great new America. You're going to capture those 4 British forts and help stop the massacre of hundreds of settlers. George, this expedition is like a jobs program for the future Americans. You will be an example for others hundreds of years from now. There will be more states added to America. Think of it that way. You'll be providing for families of the future.
I'm tired.
I know.
And with the help and the encouragement of his own conscience, he managed to pull the expedition together. And it was successful.
This is my favorite part.
George Rogers Clark did capture those 4 British forts, Kaskaskia, Cahokia, Vincennes, and Detroit. These victories added 5 states to our new country: Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and part of Minnesota. And George Rogers Clark is a great American hero. There are towns named for him, statues of him all across the country, including one right here in Louisville, and a museum built in his honor in Vincennes, Indiana.
And so Kentucky grew and thrived, and her cultural traditions and heritage grew as well and developed, blending together all the traditions of music from the people who had come here from all over the world. This music grew and developed and finally defined itself in a style of music we know as bluegrass. And of course, the father of bluegrass music was Bill Monroe, who was right here from Ohio County in Kentucky. We're singing one of his most famous songs, Blue Moon of Kentucky. And as the state continued to grow, so did the music. And finally, we had the era beginning in the 50s, the blossoming of rock and roll, and other famous Kentuckians contributed to this new style of music, notably the Everly Brothers from Central City, and they wrote and recorded and made popular Dream, Dream, Dream. There's also a fact, a little known fact actually, that one of the most sung, most recorded, most memorable, everybody knows it. This song was written by two ladies who lived not far from here over in the Iroquois Park area, and it is, of course, Happy Birthday. If there's anybody that has a birthday, this song goes out for you. We're just sending it out there generically. Is this your birthday?
Tomorrow is birthday.
Tomorrow is your birthday. What's your name?
Ruthie Hobbs.
Okay, we're going to sing Happy Birthday, Ruthie. Is that okay? Everybody ready? All right, here we go. Let's give her a round of applause. Happy birthday, Ruthie. Of course, part of the fascinating legacy of Kentucky's history is the life of the river. So many stories come to us from the river, songs come to us from the river, and an array of fascinating characters come to us from the life on the river. This skit features a fictional meeting between two gentlemen, both of whom are named Mike Fink. This is the story of the second Fink.